boys and girls. Today we are going to look at some tallies on some of the 10 and more tally match cards. And we're going to share or kind of talk about what we notice about them, okay? So I'm just going to put some of the tally cards out there. Not all of them, but quite a few of them. Well, maybe almost all of them. How about that? I think I even have room to put one over here on the side. So I want you to pause the video at home and just kind of share together what you notice about these 10 and more tally numbers. I notice how all of the groups, each card has some groups organized into fives. Like I notice each one of these lines is a tally and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So instead of counting them one at a time, I can count by fives. 5, 10, 5, 10, 15, 5, 10, 5, 10, 5, 10, 15, 5, 10, and so forth. Now I notice that there are 2 5s. And I remember, in fact, on every card at the top, don't you see 2 groups of 5 at the top? I remember doing some counting activities where we talked about how both of our hands together equals 10 and that each hand has 5 fingers. So when I look at my fingers, I can just say I've got 10 fingers rather than counting them up one at a time, or even counting 5, 10 fingers. I can just say I've got 10 fingers. So when I look at these numbers, I notice that each one has a set of 10 tallies at the top. Does everybody see that? I'm going to go through, I'm going to take some of these cards away, and we're going to focus on one card at a time. And I want to start with this card, okay? When I look at this card, I notice that there is a 10 on top and a 3. So I can represent this card with a 10 and a 3. Does anyone know what 10, 3 is? Oh, if you are thinking 13, you are correct. If I have a 10 and a 3 and I put them together, I get 13. So I can represent 13 like this with a 10 and a 3. I can represent it 10 plus 3, or I can use my tallies, 10, 3. Nice job. Let's look at another one. This card is a little more challenging because it has more groups of 5. But don't let that throw you. We are going to use the same strategy, remembering that 2 5s are 10, and so we've got our 10 at the top. Let's look at the bottom. Now I remember this is a group of 5. I don't have to count them all over again. I can just go 5 and one more is 6. So I have a 10 and a 6. 10, 6. Is this 10, 6? Well, yes. So 10, 6 is 16. I can represent 16 with my 10 and my 6 and just write the number in standard form. I can show 10 plus 6 equals 16 in a number sentence. And I can also match it or show it with my tallies, 10 on top and 6 on the bottom. All right, let's look at another card. Ooh. Now this is interesting. I do see right away, now that we've gotten started, I see my 10 on the top. But I notice there's no group of 5. Almost. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have a 10 and a 4. What number is 10, 4? Good job. 10, 4 is 14. 14 is made of a 10 and 4 ones. A group of 10 and 4 more. So I can represent 14 with a 1 in the tens place and a 4 in the ones place. I can represent 10 plus 4 equals 14. I can also represent them with tallies. You guys are so good at this. All right, let's try another one. Next tally card. Ooh, this one's a tricky one. Lots of tally marks. But you know what? I don't think you'll be tricked because we're going to use the same strategies that we've been using. I notice 10 on top. Even though this bottom might be a little trickier, I think we can figure it out. So I've got 5, and I'm going to count on the 5, 6, 7. So I know I've got 10 on top and 7 on the bottom. 10, 7. What number is 10, 7? 17 is 10, 7. So we have 1, 10 in the tens place and 7 ones. So 10, 7 is 17. All right, let's look at another card. Oh, this one is very similar to the one that we just finished. I love that. So I notice when I look at this card that we have a group of 10 on top. So I'm going to write that down. And we have some more on the bottom. Let's count. 5, 6, 7, 8. So this number is 10, 8. Boys and girls, do you know what number we call 10, 8? If you said 18, you are correct. I can represent 18 with 1 10 and 8 ones. I can show it with an adding number sentence, 10 plus 8 more is 18, or I can represent it with tallies in this fashion. Excellent job. Okay, let's do just a few more. Oh, I like this one. This one has all groups of 5 and no extras. So let's figure out what this number is. I've got 10 on the top. Because remember, my 2 groups of 5, both of my hands are 10 fingers in all. And I've got 5 on the bottom. What number is 10, 5? If you said 15, you were correct. 10, 5 is 15. 15 has 1 10 and 5 ones. And I can represent it like this in standard form, 10, 5. I can show it in tally marks, 10, 5. Or I can write an addition number sentence, 10 plus 5 equals 15. Very good job. Okay, we have 3 more cards. Let's do this. We are almost done. Ooh, I like this one. This one's probably a little more simple than the other ones that we've done, the last couple anyway. I notice that there's a 10 on top and just one more. That's how it makes it easy. What number is 10, 1? Let's look at it. If you said 11, you are correct. Nice job, way to go. 11 is made of 1 10 and 1 1, and I can represent it in standard form like this. I can also show 11 by adding 10 plus 1, or I can represent it in tallies like this. Let's do 2 more and then we will be finished. All right, let's look at this tally card. I notice that we've got 10 on top that I'm just going to recognize right away, and 2 more. What number do we call 10, 2? If you answered 12, you are correct. 12 is 10, 2. I can show 12 with 1 10 and 2 1s and just write it in standard form, 10, 2. I can add 10 plus 2 and represent 12, or I can represent 12 with a group of 10 tallies and 2 more. Oh, we've got one more card, boys and girls. Can you guess what number we haven't done yet? Ooh, the last card. Let's look at it. Again, I notice I've got 10 on top, but I'm going to need to count these on the bottom. So I've got 5 that I'm just going to recognize. 6, 7, 8, 9. What number is 10, 9? If you answered 19, you are awesome, amazing. 19 can be represented with a 1 10 in the tens place and 9 1s. We just write 19. But we can think 10, 9 when we think of 19. I can write it as a 10 plus a 9 in an adding sentence, or I can represent it with these tally marks, 10 on top and 9 more on the bottom. Boys and girls, that was some really good thinking today, and I want you to know that I brought my easy button with me from school, and so I'm gonna tap that for you today and say, nice job, that was easy.
That was easy.
And I will see you tomorrow.